All right, all right, all right.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. Most High in Christ bless Israel.
Shalom, Israel. Before we get started, we make sure our visual is straight on this side.
And can y'all hear us?
Yeah.
What, so they can hear us?
Once,
All right. Let me.
Oh, everything except Periscope.
all right, we got visual.
Okay,
we
there
on.
we go.
Here we go. And Satan ain't gonna stop this
We're
show.
on YouTube.
It's all good.
Satan is conspiring to stop the show, but it's not going to work.
Y'all can share it. So whoever is missing on Periscope or whatever, you can share it. All right. So what we going into, officer? See, let's get started.
All right. Shalom,
Been
Israel.
distracted.
Today we are on Lion's Den Radio. Lion's Den Radio. What's our theme on Lion's Den Radio, officer?
We don't ignore evil.
Uh-huh.
We seek to expose it.
We seek to expose it. So today we're going to touch an issue that a lot of us that actually came into the knowledge of the truth, that we are the Israelites. One thing that kind of led us down that path is when you are waking up and you're learning who you are and you coming aware to different things, the first thing you hit before you find out you're an Israelite a lot of times is conspiracy theories.
That's how I came in.
Yep, that's how I came in myself, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other brothers. So we're going to look at conspiracy theories from a biblical perspective, because we know a lot of people watch the show, a lot of people look at what we are doing, but they still kind of have a stronghold of, well, what about the FEMA camps? What about the Monsanto? What about this or that? And we want to give you the scriptures to let you know that stuff is something to keep your mind off the real conspiracy. And we're going to touch what that is as we go throughout the show.
Which, when you look at it, it's a conspiracy within itself to actually give us that. Right. Like, if you look at it, like what we're about to go into, it's a topic that we should address, because it's a lot of people out there still dealing with this and not understanding that everything that they're giving us as a conspiracy is a conspiracy within itself. Like, what I mean by that is that if you look at what they call a conspiracy, the Illuminati, the hip hop, and all that stuff, everybody throwing up the Baphomet sign. What they're getting you focused on is the symbolism of the throwing up of hands and the all-seeing eye. And it's the conspiracy of that is to keep you distracted from the real truth, the truth of knowing who you are. So while you thinking you're exposing the theory, you're actually in the conspiracy theory by ignoring the truth about, again, the truth about God and what He wants you to truly focus on. So we're gonna go into it all. We got several dollar bills. We're gonna break them down. We're gonna go into the back of dollar bill and expose a lot of stuff that I myself was involved in, and I know a lot of these brothers got testimonies and stuff that distracted them. But go ahead, officer.
All praise.
Hey, what's the Monsanto?
We're gonna touch on it.
You was involved in Monsanto?
I don't know what.
You don't know Monsanto?
Yeah,
I don't know
Monsanto is the leading company that deals with GMOs.
Or with the
I didn't know their name.
Right. With the Roundup.
I didn't know their name.
Yeah,
That's
Monsanto.
real. That's real.
Yeah.
So
Alex-
what's the conspiracy?
We're gonna
about
show
it?
you.
Alex Jones
Okay.
was right. They putting glue in what's that, mail?
Okay.
Right. All right. So
I know a brother got
Before-
paid off Monsanto recently.
right before we begin, we're gonna show you what an actual conspiracy is. Can you read that for me, soldier?
The definition of conspiracy, the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, the act of conspiring together.
Scroll down. That ain't the one I wanted.
Sounds like Psalms 83.
Yep. There was another one I wanted. Keep going.
By the way, we're gonna read it.
He ain't got the one that you posted. It was the one that. Yeah, I was like, that ain't the one I want. Look at we sent it to
A
you.
group of conspirators.
Right.
That sound like some brothers I know. But I mean, we go. Oh, what happened to the screen?
Hold on, they're gonna get the
gonna
one
get
that I
the
posted. That's the one that we
definition we want.
posted. It was a definition.
Paying the camera to
Y'all
our tech,
bear with us for a minute. We're
paying
gonna
the
pull
camera
it
to
up.
our tech team over there. Y'all can see who's doing this.
All right, I'm gonna read it. It says a secret plan by
There we
a
go.
group to do something unlawful or harmful. So, understand a conspiracy theory, it is a secret plan. This is where they get you at. Like what Captain said. The fact that if it's supposed to be secret, why are there thousands of videos showing you what this secret plan is?
Why is it allowed to be shown?
Right.
You know they had a television show. I forget the wrestler's name. I was trying to find it to show everybody.
Let's
But
see the body Ventura. I know
Yeah.
you're talking about.
this dude had a television show showing you conspiracy theories and breakdowns of different plots. Like if they didn't want information to come out, you wouldn't be alive to speak about it
There
if
you
it
go.
was that much of
There
a
you
theory.
go.
Now, when you look at information that involves true history and about us,
Right, you won't find
you
it.
get all kinds of people getting knocked off, like the dude that wrote the 13 tribe,
right,
Arthur
Arthur.
Koestler.
Yep.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, he was found dead.
And his
After
wife.
he published like how the Jews leave black and they come back white.
Right.
He ended up dead. Hey, if you look at it, that's not making too much media cover, but okay. But you know, it was a long time ago. But here's the things they got us focused on. Whether people throwing up signs like this, yeah, people outline this and say, "Look what he doing." No, it doesn't mean anything. It's all hand gestures. That's what it means. That's what it is. That's absolutely what it is. Nothing.
Absolutely. So it says a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful. So the key part that I want to hit on is and the synonyms: plot, scheme, plan, a ploy, a trick, a rouse, a subterfuge. So all of these, what we want you to understand and what we want to make sure we don't lose sight of, because as we were coming up with the topics, you can go a million different ways. And a lot of this stuff don't have nothing to do with the Bible. But all it is information to distract you from what's really going on.
Absolutely.
The real conspiracy. And we ain't gonna tell you because we know a lot of y'all watching right now and you believe in this stuff. So we want to show you if this were real, if these things were real, why is it known if it says it's supposed to be secret? Because it's for you. It's for you to stay away from this book. When you read and you watch all these videos, one thing conspiracy theories, all of them are the same. They give a lot of information. And they never, ever give a solution. They never give a solution. They just end. It's creepy music. It's a lot of put together stuff. And then at the end, off. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. That's it.
And they celebrating Christmas.
Right. So let's get that first video of why they are so appealing. The appeal of conspiracy theories.
And also too, before we go ahead, obviously we want to give the call-in number because I know, like I said, I know I came in. When I came into the truth, I was a Black Panther, Israelite, conspiracy theorist. I put all those three together, and that's
The
what I
appeal of
identified as the truth. So we're gonna call in, and we want to hear how did you come into the truth? Because I know how it benefited me not knowing those things, because it never helped. Like you said, no solutions. 407-545-4624. Call in and let us know how you came into the truth. If you're researching conspiracy theories, let us know how good is your search going, and let us know if you have the solution for the things that you have searched. Maybe we missed the mark. So call in. I think it'd be an interesting show for you to call in. Let's hear some of these conspiracy theories that's out there, because it's a lot of people believe in these things. So it'd be good to hear people's testimony. So call in again. The number is 407-545-4624. All right, let's go.
Conspiracy theories. According to a poll from Fairleigh Dickinson University, over half of American adults believe in at least one conspiracy theory. And though subscribing to conspiracies is more rampant in some personality types and social demographics than others, false narratives of one form or another are held by people across all racial, economic, and political backgrounds.
Pause. That's another thing I want to make sure y'all understand. One thing about conspiracy theories, as I was watching them today, they always, well, in America, from the American standpoint, it's always the American citizens versus the government, or the American citizens versus this corporation.
Right.
They always lump us all together. So this is just another ploy to bring us under one banner. Because when you're watching a conspiracy theory, you forget about what color you are.
Right.
You forget about what happened to Trayvon Martin. You forget about what happened to Freddie Gray. All of that goes out the window. Your fear now does not become the so-called man, the so-called white man that's oppressing you day in and day out. Now it's on, hey, I know he got shot, but what about them trails up in the sky? What about the aliens? They against all of us. It ain't just us, everybody. You got Cap.
You know, there is no solution for this stuff. Because you know what? When I looked up chemtrails, I looked up what it is that they was putting in there. It was aluminum carbonate, something like that. Like, okay, you expose what they're doing.
Right. What you gonna do?
What is the solution? You have to go outside. You have to breathe. What are you gonna do about it? You gonna tell where I live? They got to be a no-fly zone. If they gonna do that, they got to spray that over there. Cause I know what they putting in there. You got to breathe the air that's out there. They gonna fly by. They're gonna do the chemtrails or whatever they're gonna do. What is the solution behind it?
There you go.
It brings it up.
Somebody please call and give us the solution. We want to know.
You got to walk around with a gas mask on 24/7.
Press
Hey,
play.
can I- oh,
Okay,
What
go
you
ahead.
got to do.
No, I was saying that what you were saying is so true because really the conspiracy theory, like you said, is always based on the government. Somebody's
Yeah.
in charge. That's really white supremacy.
There you go.
Yes,
There's
exactly.
nobody could beat us. Nobody can touch the government. What are we
Exactly.
gonna do? There's
Right.
no solution. That's white supremacy.
Right,
You
right.
can't beat them.
But what they do is it's white supremacy, but they tie in all nations into it.
Yeah.
Because black people aren't the only people that's conspiracy theorists. The white man conspiracy theorists, the Asian man, all of us, we become this. Like I said, it ties you under that banner and it strips you of you don't have to worry about you being black or colored or any of that no more. Now you're just worrying about this man that you don't even know who it is.
Yeah.
This enemy that's invisible.
We gotta stand together.
Then we get the mind state that, oh, all of our blood is red regardless.
Yeah. Exactly.
Go ahead, keep playing.
In an age when access to information from legitimate sources are only a click away, why are conspiracy theories still so prevalent? What makes them so appealing? Well, there are quite a few psychological factors that lead to the belief in conspiracy theories. In the game of survival, the human mind has become hardwired to believe in intentional causality. If you hear a rustling noise in the bushes, it's a safer bet to believe that it's a threat rather than presume it's just the wind. Dismissing the noise may lead to danger, but believing that there is a threat means you'll take action to avoid harm, regardless if there's something actually there. So in some ways, we have evolved to err on the side of paranoid belief. Another major factor is human beings' superior pattern processing. As a species, one of our greatest strengths is our ability to find meaningful patterns in the world around us and to make causal inferences. Pattern processing is at the heart of our ability to use language, understand and navigate our environment, and project future outcomes. But identifying patterns is an automatic process of the mind, and therefore can lead to the formulation of false patterns. This is the reason we see faces in inanimate objects, create relationships between events that are really just coincidence, and is a contributing factor to why we believe in conspiracy theories. There is also our tendency towards confirmation bias. Acknowledging that we are wrong about something is a difficult thing for most of us to admit. This is especially true.
Oh, that's a big one there.
He said acknowledging that we are wrong about something is hard for us to do. Because what happens when you get into this stuff, like we was talking about earlier, about the dates. Like they have a lot of dates that was supposed to happen, things were supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And instead of you admitting, yeah, man, it didn't work, it was wrong. It's like, nah. See, the new date is this.
Yeah.
You just like, bruh, come on, man.
We discussed that before we came on. We was talking about there was a date. It was May 21st. Before that, you had 2000.
It started in 2000, right?
Then you had what? 1999.
2012.
1844.
1844.
That was.
It's so many dates you have out there. And people thought the world was going to end. I know people that you hear about people. It was on the news one time. People sold houses and all this type of stuff because they believe in these conspiracy theories, and they try to mingle that with the Bible. Because I once did that. I mingled conspiracy theories with the Bible. You can't relate the two. They don't belong with each other. Now, when it comes to tumults and evil, what do you call it? Evil, what's the thing I want to call it? I forget what.
Evil surmising.
Not evil surmising, but evil plots. I would say evil plots. There is an evil agenda that they have, but this is not what God was talking about. And then this is another one they threw out. This is what I was talking about. This whole, if you look at it, this animated thought about conspiracy theories. They got us arguing about the fact whether the fact is that the Earth is round or flat. The purpose, I mean, like you're living on it. I have, and the thing is, I don't care whether you believe the Earth is flat. It's on you. I'm not going to argue that. We're not going there today, but we're going to show you is that it's a pointless argument. I can definitively say that there's nobody that fell off the earth, and there's nobody that walked to the edge of the earth that see that there is an edge. But I'm not going to argue back and forth to go through facts and say, see, the earth is flat around. It doesn't matter. On the earth, we're required to do one thing. That's fear God and keep his commandments.
That's right.
Regardless of what anybody thinks.
And
That's
we
right.
could all agree that if the Earth was flat, that means that planes are just flying in circles.
They argue that too.
Here we go. Here we go now. Hey, brother had to bring out his.
Yeah, he wanna bring out his
had
facts.
to debunk that flat Earth theory.
All right, go ahead, keep playing.
Of concepts and ideas that we associate with our worldview. These are ideas that we strongly connect with, and admitting that they are incorrect can feel like we are admitting that there is something wrong with us personally.
Pause. So what we're seeing right here is conflict, right?
Yeah.
This is what happens with this stuff. Somebody give me 2 Timothy 2 and 3. Let's go there first. Let's get a scripture. I know we've been doing a lot of talking. Understand, we're spiritual men. We got everything has a reason. 2 Timothy 2, and let's start at verse 3.
The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ.
Read.
No man that warreth.
Because when you understand and you read this Bible correctly, you'll understand the Israelites are at war. We are at war. And it's not with doggone martial law. Yeah. It ain't with Earth is flat. It ain't with what else we know? Did Michael Jackson molest? That's not the war. That's not the war that we are in right now. Read.
No man that entangleth himself with the affairs of this life.
With the affairs of this life. That's what all this stuff keeps you only situated on those things. You never seek to the history of your fathers. You never worry about the Bible from a spiritual perspective. All you worry about is what video you can watch. That's all it is. You are entangled. That's what it does. It tangles you with the affairs of this world. All you do is look and see, okay, what's going on here? What's going on here? That's all you do.
Right.
But the Bible tells you to do the exact opposite, to not entangle yourself with the affairs of this world.
Oh, look, we jump down now. We got to see that. Verse 16. Read that.
Verse 16. But shun profane and vain babblings.
The Bible tells us to shun profane and vain babbling. When you know something is not true, you don't have to argue. You don't have to defend it. The truth stands for itself. There's so many things that prove that and validates that. You just sit still and let God judge it. You know, everything will expose itself. So we don't have to go into whether the earth is flat, whether they're doing this or not. The truth is that we are the Lord's people. And that day, it will be revealed. It says they will look upon the great army of people that was called the Lord's people, and they're going to say, these are the people whom we once despised, that we once despised and had in derision. They are called to be the sons of God. That day, they will acknowledge that, and there will be no argument. All lies will be shut down. But here's the point out of this. This is what I wanted. It says, but shun profane and vain babbling, for they will increase unto more ungodliness. I'm going to jump down to verse 17, because this is dealing with a situation that was within the church. It says, and their word will eat as a canker, like a canker sore. It eats underneath before it is exposed to where it's evidently corrupted the body or damaged the flesh. It says, who is Harmonious and Philetus concerning the faith have erred. Now, I'm saying this for the fact of I have experience with this situation. When I didn't shun profane and vain babbling, when I was walking the path of being a conspiracy theorist and trying to follow the path of Christ, these things more so pulled me to that side where I was not focusing on the Bible. And I had individuals come to me telling me about Rex 84, King Alfred plan. And what I did, being as simple as I was like, okay, well, what are we going to do about it? When are we going to do something about it? Our people dying. We got to do something right now. He said, well, we got to stand up and fight. I said, okay. He said, yeah, Christ ain't coming back to save us. In my mind, I'm like, I'm new at the time. I'm like, okay. All right, so I can't follow that because then that means I got to wait. Again, I'm telling you, it led me to a path where I almost rejected the Bible because I was confused. I was at a state where I was walking between the two: conspiracy theorists, Black Panther, or follow Christ. And then when the brother put it out to me that way, I'm like, okay, we got to fight. Let's pick up a gun. When we going to start? Yeah, we just got to wait. I'm like, wait for what? You going to put all this in my ear telling me we got to fight? I know that. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I can see this stuff. And then he had no solutions behind that. But it's a good thought. It almost overthrew my faith. So that's why I said we got to let that stuff go. You follow the Bible. You can't serve two mammons. You love one, you going to hate the other.
All right,
okay.
Keep playing.
This leads us to give more weight to evidence that supports what we already believe, and ignore evidence that contradicts those beliefs. There is also our innate tendency to assume that big events have big causes. For instance, the president being killed by a single shooter acting alone feels unbalanced. That is why a covert government conspiracy with multiple shooters feels more plausible, despite the evidence otherwise. Another contributing factor is projection. This is an unconscious impulse to deny negative qualities in ourselves while attributing them to others. For those who actively conspire and lie, they reflexively believe that others are acting similarly, making conspiracies more plausible and widespread. In general, people don't resort to lying unless they feel weak or powerless, which brings us to our last conspiracy generator. All of these factors become more exacerbated at times when we feel powerless or when our lives and the world around us seem out of control. Fear jumpstarts our amygdala and directs our brain to assess the situation, take stock of the patterns around us.
So the last and most important one was fear. Go ahead. You have something you want to say before I go into it? All right.
They go that dollar bill right there.
Oh, they got it. Should I go ahead and bring it
out?
Hold
on. Before you go to it. So fear. All right. Somebody give me 2 Timothy 1:7. 2 Timothy 1:7.
The book of 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7.
Because I know myself personally. I remember when 2011 happened. I was in fear. I was like, bruh, somebody's going to come into my room and kill me. I was worried about the Arab man coming to get me. I was scared as hell. And you click on the videos, you're like, all right, they're doing this. This is how it happened. Okay, this is how it happened. But you only seek that stuff out of fear. And once you get into that mindset, you stay there. Because like you said, there's no solution in this thing. They keep you, you're going to be stuck there forever. There's no end of this. There's just like it says that the making of many books, there's no end. Yeah. It's the same thing with these videos. When I was doing the search today, thousands of videos, hours long, part series forever on every topic you can think of. You'll be there forever with no solutions.
And then you look into that stuff, like the September the 11th thing. Then you go on the videos, and then you'll hear people say, yeah, there was secondary explosion. Right. It's like, yeah, now it's leading me to something else. Right. And it's always going to be something that somebody's going to have to, it's always going to be a conspiracy theorist. Now it's like the government blew up the towers. That's why they in Afghanistan. Hey, look, they going to do what they want to do. If that's the case, then let that alone. What is the true mission we should be focusing on?
There you go. But it goes back to these things. That's why they painted this dude as green. That's why he looks like that. Because guess what? When it comes to conspiracy theory, they not targeting just us. They want everybody to be under. They want you to feel at home. They want you to be welcome. But when they targeting us, they'll make sure it's when we saw the University of Tennessee video. It was a black mom with her son. They know exactly who they targeting. This stuff, anybody can be in it. Everybody. We're all one. This ain't just everybody can be a conspiracy theorist. But read that.
2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7.
Uh-huh.
For God have not given us the spirit of fear.
So understand, God has not given us the spirit of fear. So understand, if you're spending all your time, your effort, your energy, and it's coming from a state of fear, or it's creating fear in you, that's not of God. That's not godly material. That's not a godly spirit that is putting into you. You need to withdraw yourself. Read that again.
For God hath not given us the spirit of fear,
Read.
but of power,
But of power. Read.
and of love,
And of love.
and of a sound mind.
That's very important right there. Because when you're involved in this stuff, you do not have a sound mind.
Yeah.
You never have a sound mind. You go everywhere in the world, but you don't have one consensus on anything. Go ahead, Cap.
Hey, I'm telling you, I got so much to say on this topic because I got a lot of experience in this stuff, brother. I had a Bible. I had a Gideon's Bible. Again, I wasn't found in no church at the time. I was looking on YouTube. I was a YouTube Israelite. I had a Gideon's Bible. In the back of the Bible, I had the breakdown of the dollar bill. I had all kinds of stuff. The RFID chip. I had more understanding on Illuminati than the Bible. So when I came to people to present that you are an Israelite, I took them to the back of the Bible. The back of the Bible where I had stuff stuck in the pages of it. And I never forget, this is how the Most High worked. I never forget when I first started coming to IUIC, I left that Bible in the church. It was a Christian church. Because my job was to go to every church and just hear what they had to say and just gather information so I can teach. The Most High had me lead that Bible in the church and everything in it. And then after that, I seen videos of Israel teaching on YouTube. And this one I didn't see IUIC at first. I seen other camps, but then the word led me here. There's a lot of things that led up to it. But then I found home, and all that stuff is just pushed out of the window. But I see where it affected people. When I tried to teach them that, and I tried to come back into them now, present the real truth, they remember those old doctrines. They're like, yeah, you used to bug out. You couldn't watch television without bringing up some Illuminati signs. Like you used to point out every sign. It was bad. It was real bad. It was
And
just
just like you said, Officer OC, on how the Most High never gave us the spirit of fear.
Yeah.
But there's a flip side to those who don't have faith in the Most High
Yeah.
and are not keeping the commandments. Real quick, let me get Leviticus 26:36. Because remember, in the beginning of this video, they described on how a bush could be shaking. You could hear noise in a bush. And you feel that something bad will happen if you don't go to check what that noise is.
Mm-hmm.
So let's read that in the scriptures.
Leviticus chapter 26, verse 36. And upon them that are left alive of you, I will send a faintness into their hearts.
So the Most High said he will send a faintness into the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American hearts. Why? Because we broke God's commandments. And read on.
In the lands of their enemies.
Where at?
In the lands of their enemies.
Right here in America. Because as Soldier Daniel has stated before, conspiracy theorists is equivalent to white supremacy. In the land of our enemies is where we're going to have the faintness of heart. Read on.
And the sound of a shaken leaf.
And a what?
And a sound of a shaken leaf.
And the sound of a shaken leaf. That's what we saw in the beginning of this video, where we see something rattling in the bushes. Now you think that the leaf is behind you, running after you with an AK-47. Read on.
Shall chase them.
So what?
Shall chase them.
Go ahead.
And they shall flee as fleeing from a sword. And they shall fall when none pursue it.
That's the fear. That's the opposite of 2 Timothy 1:7. When we have fear instead of the Most High is when things like this happen to us. And this is a curse that the Most High put on us for not trusting in him.
That's right.
Absolutely. And I want to say the same thing, Cap. I had the same experience. When I got to college, I had a notebook of all my doctrines. Same exact thing. I had the RFID chip. I had the Rex 84 plan. I had it all printed out.
Yeah.
And when you go to teach people, and they were like, I knew Deuteronomy 28 a little bit.
Yeah.
But like, when you go into that book with all the doctrines, then you really got them.
It was on and popping.
Right, you got them there.
I
remember we going to a road game, and we at the hotel. They hey, come to the room, man. I want to hear about that stuff you got. And I come in there and teach. But then now when I'm in the truth now, I know they don't really.
They don't want that.
Right. I
Yeah.
can tell because they look. I can see they look, but I know they probably still like it's
Yeah.
so what we're trying to tell you is that stuff is unprofitable. It's just it's a placebo effect. It makes you feel good and you feel knowledgeable, but it does not have any solutions at all. At all.
Dang.
Go ahead, press play.
And seek out a remedy. We are desperately looking for a way to restore our sense of agency, and we'll convince ourselves we know what is going on, even if that means reassuring ourselves with a narrative that has no basis in fact. That said, not all conspiracy theories are false. Some indeed turn out to be true. That is why it's always important to keep an open mind, weigh all the evidence, determine if the sources are legitimate, and be careful not to be seduced by the lurid appeal of a juicy conspiracy just because it supports something you want to believe.
So, all right. So that's the first video. So what I wanted to get out of that, and he said something very important at the end. He said some conspiracy theories are real. Okay. Like we've been saying all the time. So the government, let's say they did blow up the Twin Towers. Now what? what are you going to do? What are you're not going to do anything. So why are you wasting all your time and energy and efforts into watching this stuff?
You know the scary thing about it, again, it is a conspiracy for you to even focus on that because we still go and vote. Even though we know all of these things, they blew up a tower, Osama bin Laden, he was a man in the cave. They got all this technology to find everybody, to find Jawan in the hood selling dope, and they got all this technology, but they can't find Osama bin Laden. But then we go and vote.
That's heavy. That's heavy. That's heavy.
It's mind-boggling.
All right, so the next one we gonna go into. This is a big one. This is one that I know myself personally. I was very, very, very scared. I remember my first time I'm going to college, and I went 12 hours away. And I remember driving because I went to a school in Mississippi. And I remember driving through these towns, and you would see trains. And I swear, I would see the coffins, the black coffins. And when I got to school, it was in the middle of nowhere. I said, man, I'm going to get caught up here. I'm going to go into FEMA camps. Man, I remember my first night in college. I never forget. I was scared as hell that martial law was going to break out.
Yeah, they building Walmarts everywhere.
Right.
The Walmarts is going to turn into concentration camp. That's why they building them everywhere.
Right. And man, I'm telling you, it's no peace with this stuff. It's no peace.
I live in a FEMA camp right now. A lot of y'all
Right,
do too.
exactly. There you go.
Yeah,
Bring it out.
You are in the
Bring
You
it
live in the
out.
hood. You in the
Bring
FEMA camp
it
right
out.
now.
But it goes back to that. When you identify with this stuff, you lose track of yourself and the conditions that we are in as a people.
Uh-huh.
Because, like we said, for you to be a conspiracy theorist, the white boy in the suburbs watch it the same way you watch it, and we all identify with that fear. But we forget about the fear that's right outside the door with the drug deal that's going down that can go bad, and a bullet end up in your head.
That's a conspiracy within itself, and a lot of these brothers, that was conspiracy. A lot of them did sell drugs on the corner.
Yep.
But you know, the conspiracy theory, the conspiracy is that you're not a scientist, right?
Right.
Who put this cocaine in the
There you
community?
go. We touching that. We touching that one,
Like,
Cap.
it's who? We going?
Oh yeah, I got it.
Right,
I
okay.
got it. We got the video.
It's a religion in itself.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
it is.
Billy Bob and Tyrone from the hood, we
Right.
can agree on something,
Right.
and we can agree on, hey, the government's coming.
Right,
after us.
right. Not each other. Press play. Let's talk about these FEMA camps.
From UFOs to ghost and psychic powers, history is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now or learn the stuff they don't want you to know.
Hold on, pause. They say they know the stuff we don't want you to know. This is a public video on YouTube. Hundreds of thousands of views.
It ain't flagged.
It ain't black.
Oh no.
Meanwhile, IUIC putting out
flagged.
videos. Our stuff get flagged. We got to take it down. They took down Bishop Nathaniel YouTube. They took it down.
I remember that.
You got all of these conspiracy theories. These videos 8, 12, 20 years old. Nobody has took them down yet. Meanwhile, Stokely Carmichael, dead. Martin Luther King, dead. Malcolm X, dead. Alex Jones still alive.
It's crazy.
Alex Jones kicking it somewhere.
It's crazy.
man.
Somebody got more
Chilling.
power. I think there's more power
Wait
in
a
being
minute.
united as a black
wait a
man
minute.
than it is to have $1 million invested in a FEMA camp.
Right.
So you need to worry about where you need to put your focus at.
And you know, the thing is that somebody look at this video, hey, I'm gonna show you something that nobody saw. Check this out. This is crazy, bro. Watch me check this out. I'm gonna go to YouTube real quick. Check this video out. I'm gonna share it with you, bro.
Got 1 million views. Somebody, nobody ain't seen this.
Nobody's seen it though.
Press play, man. Press play.
Hey, why they ain't playing? You hear that? Why they ain't playing Barney music?
Right,
Why they
right,
playing
right.
dun,
They
dun,
put
dun,
that
dun,
fear in you.
dun?
It's all psychology. Yep.
Paranoia. Go ahead.
Here are the facts. The Federal Emergency Management Agency was created in 1976 and charged with handling domestic emergencies. When most people think of FEMA, they think of
So, we live in Florida. You might be watching from another city or state. I've had experiences with FEMA for multiple times through many different hurricanes. And I'm not saying the white man is God. But what I'm saying is, FEMA deals with emergencies. What they're saying is they're like this is saying some hidden information.
Yeah.
I've seen FEMA. Again, they gave us ice. They gave me MREs. Okay, now what? But listen, I want to explain it. Go to Revelation 12. I want where they nurtured us. 12 and 17. Is that it? Where they nurtured us? Talking about Esau? No, not that.
Revelations 12. You're talking about verse 14.
14. Yep, read that.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 14.
Because if you didn't know, America is Babylon the Great. In this chapter, America is the dragon. All right? America is the dragon. Read.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle.
Read.
That she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time.
So the woman is talking about the nation of Israel. When you read Jeremiah chapter 6, the woman is the nation of Israel. Flied into the wilderness where they would nourish. Here in America, we would nourish. Guess what? America, unlike many other countries, they have emergency agencies that can help you for things like this. So this is an example proving that the Bible is a true book. Because other places, guess what? FEMA will go to Haiti. FEMA will go all these different places and take care of. But this is showing you how here we are nurtured from our oppressor. All right? From a times again. All right? But I just wanted to show that. All right, go ahead. Keep playing.
hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, and floods. Since its inception, FEMA has consistently saved American lives. Like the Boy Scouts, FEMA aims to be prepared. They provide logistical support, food, clothing, and other services in emergency situations. The agency has also built housing facilities in locations across the world. To the mainstream media, this is just another step in preparing for catastrophes. But to others, it's something much worse. Here's where it gets crazy. According to broadcaster Alex Jones, FEMA is a front for a secret government, and the housing locations will actually serve as quarantine centers or internment camps. This is not an unfounded fear. After all, during World War II, the U.S. forced over 100,000 Japanese Americans into government camps for the duration of the conflict, and civil unrest could be considered a domestic emergency. How would this insurrection...
So they talk about Japan. They said, during this time, over 100,000 of them were put in camps. And this is something we got to worry about. What about the 100 million so-called Africans that were taken and spread throughout the 4 corners of the earth? Where's the video on that? Y'all seen it? Where's the video with the spooky guy in the background saying, how did this happen? Then during the time of 1619,
that happened back then.
They were taken
that's old.
And given.
They're saying that happened back then. That's just.
But where's the conspiracy about the black and Hispanic man in the ghetto? How did we get there?
Right.
How did we get forced into the hood?
Right.
There's no video on that.
You won't find it. Keep pressing play. I just thought that was interesting.
Occur. Theorists cite any number of possible causes, from the establishment of a one-world government to a national pandemic. Some believe a global elite of bankers and aristocrats may artificially create a disaster to trigger a massive incarceration of U.S. citizens who object to the...
Balls! They said that this event might cause a mass incarceration of Americans. Welcome to being a black man in America.
Yeah, there's already mass.
Right.
Black and Hispanic, we are 90% of the jail population.
But that's what I'm telling you. This stuff will make you deny your people. You lose your identity being involved in this. You lose it.
We've been mass incarcerated since 1619.
Right. Absolutely.
That's a long time.
And then you see the real conspiracy. You look at what's actually going on in the jail population. Marshalls. What is it? Marshalls, Sears,
How they work.
J.C. Penney's. Your license plate on your cars, I think your road signs, all of the road signs, your telephones that's in the prison, cell phones are made by prison inmates. Are made by inmates in the prison. Black and Hispanics, they made these things. And ain't nobody talking about that. That's the real conspiracy. But we haven't even got to the point why they doing these things. But yeah, that's yet to come. We just bring it out first. We'll show you why these things are happening. It's all a distraction.
Plan, whatever that plan might be. Fringe researcher Mary Louise alleges that FEMA keeps a red list and a blue list, where people on the blue list will be shipped to camps for quarantine or
like
re-education, while those on the red list will be executed. Skeptics rightly point out that this conspiracy requires an amazing, even implausible, level of organization. Also, a large natural disaster can displace hundreds of thousands of people, so building temporary housing in advance seems like a good idea. Yet there's another angle here. The US already holds the world's largest prison population, with over 2 million people incarcerated. Most of the people who believe that FEMA is a cover for mass imprisonment also believe in the Illuminati, Freemasons, or satanic conspiracies. Sometimes they believe in all three. The outlandish nature of some theories may make them hard to swallow, yet the facts are foreboding even to skeptics. The federal government has indeed constructed massive housing facilities across the United States, from Oakdale, California to Atlanta, Georgia. Executive orders have given FEMA and other agencies increasingly broad emergency powers, even allowing the U.S. Army and Marine Corps to perform domestic operations. Theorists like Dr. John Coleman allege the focus of FEMA has steadily moved away from natural disasters to concentrate on the management of a hypothetically unruly populace. In 2003, FEMA was incorporated into the Department of Homeland Security. To most Americans, this is just another game of bureaucratic musical chairs. However, it makes perfect sense to conspiracy theorists. Before you reject this theory, take a look at the laws surrounding the Constitution, FEMA, Homeland Security, and other related agencies. Pay close attention to Rex 84, the Patriot Act extensions, Operation Garden Plot, and the executive orders that created FEMA. Conspiracy theorists think these documents are only the tip of the iceberg. The rest, for now, is stuff they don't want you to know.
Now, this is what kills me about this stuff. This guy comes on, spooky voice, talks the whole time, leaves you with a few links, and then, what are we supposed to do now? This stuff, I'm telling you, this stuff will lead exactly what Captain just went over. It will eat at your spirit and eat at your soul. There is no end. There's no end. But I want to hit something, because for if you're watching this and you're wavering and worrying about FEMA camps are not going to happen. Go to Matthew 24. Matthew chapter 24, and let's start at verse 30, I think it's 7.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
So, when Christ returns, it says it's going to be as the days of Noah. When you go and you read about the days of Noah, what were they doing? Keep reading.
For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating.
They were eating.
And drinking.
And drinking.
Marrying.
Marrying.
And giving in marriage.
And giving in marriage. Read.
Until the day that Noah entered into the ark.
Until the day that Noah entered into the ark. What is that letting you know? They were living a normal lifestyle. They were not
same stuff.
Right. They were doing the same stuff they always did. They weren't cooped up in a cell with the government plotting on them and their heads getting chopped off in guillotines. It says it's going to be the same days of Noah. So now you got to say, am I going to believe in the Bible or am I going to believe in a conspiracy theory? Because I'm telling you, this stuff will have you lose your life.
Absolutely.
You will lose your life following this stuff, and your mind will be gone.
Hey, because you get caught up in fearing the wrong thing. Stay in Matthew and go to 10 and verse 28. They want you to get caught up in fearing FEMA and all these other. I was in that stuff too a little bit, just watching it, and like you say, there was never no solution. So we used to watch the stuff. After it got done, I was like, all right, well, I passed the weed because That ain't what else, ain't nothing I can do about it.
Right.
Let's go back to partying. It was for me. It was more entertainment because we knew nothing was gonna happen. But this is what they don't want you to fear. This is what you should be fearing.
Right.
Matthew 10 and verse 28.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 28. And fear not them which kill the body,
Which are the so-called FEMA camps or whoever they trying to prop up to say they're gonna kill you. Most I said don't even fear them. Keep reading.
but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
And that's only the Most High in Christ that can do that. That's the real. That's who you need to fear for real. Because you ain't right with them, you in trouble. You're gonna be much worse in the FEMA camp.
Yeah. You know, it's heavy you said that because as a result of fearing the FEMA camps and conspiracy theorists, which is controlled by white supremacy, this is what happens. Get Jeremiah 11 and 9. We're going to read verse 9 and 10. Because as a result, the conspiracy surrounds those, as we read earlier, the fear in Leviticus 26:36. When you don't trust in the Most High and you don't fear the Most High, you fear other stuff outside of God, you begin to worship other gods and set idols amongst yourself. So read that, Jeremiah 11 and 9.
Jeremiah chapter 11, verse 9. And the Lord said unto me, a conspiracy.
A what?
A conspiracy.
A what?
A conspiracy
Read.
is found among the men of Judah
It's found among the men of Judah, the southern kingdom of Israel. Go ahead.
and among the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
And among the northern kingdom of Israel, which is you Hispanics and Native Americans. And as a result of that conspiracy, what happens next and why? Verse 10.
They are turned back to the iniquities of their forefathers.
They turn back to the iniquities of our forefathers who were worshiping idols in the wilderness as well. Read on.
which refuse to hear my words.
Go ahead.
And they went after other gods to serve them.
So we go after other gods to serve them when we don't fear the Most High. When we put our trust in a FEMA camp thinking that something is going to happen to us. But the Most High said he didn't give you the spirit of fear. So when we roll in the spirit of fear, we put ourselves vulnerable to serve other gods. That's the conspiracy that the Most High has on Judah and Jerusalem.
I want to say something on that too. Again, I must say, because stages keep popping up. I remember there was a brother that he was a part of us, and I was speaking on the phone with him, and I'm saying this to say you got to watch out for this spirit that we're talking about, is being involved in conspiracy theories and fearing something that will happen. Excellent scripture: "Fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both the soul and body in hell." That's who you should be fearing, not man. Regardless of how man may feel, you're supposed to be fearing God. So there was a brother that called me, and he was saying, why don't we discuss things that are going on in the world? There is a plot to kill Israelite people. There is a plot to kill those that are teaching the gospel, the true gospel. Why don't we discuss these things? Because we should be more aware of what they're trying to do. I told the brother, I said, okay, we can talk about these things, but what are we going to do? They have the power. Christ said he's going to take them down. What are you going to do? Did we fight against Egypt when we were in Egypt? Did we fight against Pharaoh, or did God send Moses in there to destroy Egypt? That was a great power upon earth, and God's hand destroyed them. The same thing he's doing with America. I said we should focus more so on the gospel. He said, no, I just feel like there's not much of a warning. I said, bro, we don't need no warning. We know that they're going to attack. The Bible says that the dragon was wroth with the woman that feared him, that feared Christ and kept the testimony in the faith of Christ. That kept the testimony of Christ and the keeping of the commandments. That's what the dragon is out to do. You should be more so focused on how to be saved during that time. Repent and keep God's commandments. That's your protection. It says, we get that real quick in the book of Psalms 90. And I'm saying this for the people that already believe, as Israel. We should be focused on that stuff. Worrying about them walking around chipping people's hand. Don't worry about all of that garbage. The real mark is the mark of sin. It's nothing different than when the mark was put upon what's the word I'm looking for? When you look at the prime example, when Most High, the Most High, I'm gonna say it like this: the Most High's mark is the law, statutes, and commandments. The mark that is set upon 144,000 is the truth being sealed in their minds. The contrary to that mark is the mark of sin. You should be worrying about somebody putting a microchip in your hand. I was once involved with that thing, and it makes no sense. Okay, let's read this. What is the real protection? Psalms 91, verse 1.
Psalms chapter 91, verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High. What is the secret place? That's the Bible. And the Bible revealeth the secrets of the Most High God. This is the secret place of the Most High. Read. Because not everybody understand it. Read.
I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress.
And knowing that this is the secret place of the Most High, you're supposed to have the confidence to say that I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. Read on.
My God, in Him will I trust.
And in Him will I trust. Read.
Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome of pestilence.
He's going to shield you from his destruction. Read verse 4.
He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust.
And under His wings shalt thou trust. Read.
His truth.
His what?
His truth shall be thy shield and buckler.
His truth shall be thy shield and thy buckler. Verse 5.
Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day.
Thou should not be afraid of the terror by night, nor the arrow that flieth by day. That's a whole nother subject, but that's eventually coming to this land, destruction. Read verse 7. Jump down to the point.
Verse 7. 1,000 shall fall at thy side.
People are going to lose their life, but you should not be focused on when it's going to happen. God said it was going to happen. You just got to have trust. You got to put your faith in Him, knowing that He will deliver you. It says 1,000 shall fall at thy right. It says, and 1,000 shall fall at thy side. Read on.
And 10,000 at thy right
Read.
hand, but it shall not come nigh thee.
But it shall not come nigh thee. So who cares about the FEMA camps, the concentration camps, Walmart's being opened up so they can lock you in them? The big what they say another one too. The big sports, the stadiums being opened up for concentration camp. Who cares about that? The Most High going to deliver us from all of that stuff. It's not our job to fear man. That's what we lost. That's what we lost the path. Go ahead.
All praise. Go to the next video. Yep, this one right here.
Hey, the Chip brothers. For all you Chip brothers, you already got the chip, all right?
Potato chip?
No, they already got the chip. You know what the chip is? If you got a cell phone, you accepted the chip.
Right.
It's a big chip you put in your hand every single day.
Put all your information into it.
So you've been exposed.
Yeah, you really are putting all your information. That thing say ask you want to download the app.
Yep.
You allowing this app to control your photos, your phone calls. Yep. You say accept. Just so you can get an app on your phone.
Yep.
Everything you put in your phone is already linked. What are you talking about?
So you got the chip, brothers.
Exactly.
Because the Esau, that's why the Most High said to Esau, thou art wiser than Daniel. You know what I'm saying? Because he'll give us these little devices just so he can monitor us.
Yep. First Blake.
You know, we can have a martial law scenario that leads to concentration camps in America. First of all, you know, what did you find in your investigation and your documentaries?
Well, you brought up Jesse Ventura's conspiracy theory about the FEMA camps, and our director, William Lewis, was in that episode. And when I partnered with William to investigate these stories, it's because I'd heard about them for so long, and I wanted to get to the bottom of it. So, in order for us to do that, we had to have a historical perspective. And that perspective took us right back to World War II, when I met an internment camp survivor, Japanese American. And we wanted to find the parallels with his life, and as an American citizen living in California, we wanted to find the parallels in his life and people in modern day, people in present day. What were the similarities? And what we discovered was simply that through fear, the federal government rounded up all these Japanese Americans and put them in camps. And when I interviewed him for about an hour, and only so many minutes made it into the final cut. But he corrected me at one moment during the interview when I referred to it as an internment camp. He said, "No, Gary, these were concentration camps." And he revealed to me that people were shot at these concentration camps. People were shot. American citizens were shot because they got too close to the fence line and nothing happened to the soldiers that shot these American citizens.
Oh.
These just because.
Then I wanted to bring it out just for that fact. All us up here, we laughing. But what about the black man that shot every single day? Every day because he's saying, because they came too close to the line. What about the guy he just went to get his ID? What about the guy that he just opened up his door? He just put his hands up. Right? He just went to get Skittles.
He just pulled out his wallet.
He just, all these different things. They don't say nothing about that.
I remember it was a video, a brother, I forget what video it was, because there's so many that happened. And the police shot the brother. And the brother said, "Why did you shoot me?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I don't know."
Most of these conspiracy theories it just sounds like things that we go through.
It's exactly what we going
It
through.
seems like the white man is afraid of what is going to happen to him, and he's created a conspiracy theory for
Right.
everybody to relate to this. It sounds like Revelation 13 and 10. That's what it sounds like.
To them, they got like, this can't be life. This can't be life. This has to be a conspiracy theory. There's no way people are getting shot for no reason.
Yeah.
Mass incarceration.
Right. People are getting mass incarcerated. We're not going to have money.
Pulled over by the police at checkpoints, warrant
Right.
checks.
They pulled me over for no reason. The government's behind this.
You're going to stop and frisk? This is crazy.
Only happened to Israelites, huh?
Keep pressing play.
As they were racially different, they were rounded up. So the Supreme Court upheld that decision.
Right.
Okay, so let's start with that as a context before we move anywhere, because when it becomes a conspiracy theory, that's simply a terminology that's used to try to discredit the fact. But when you have a Supreme Court ruling, and you have an American citizen that's taken someplace against their will, then you have a serious problem in this country. So we wanted to find the parallels, and so we bring it to the present day. And around the time of the film's production, there was a document that was released by the Missouri State Police. It was the Missouri Fusion Center, and it was infamously known now as the MIAC report. The MIAC report detailed that certain individuals who may have a political belief, who may have a bumper sticker on their car, or who may have watched the film America, Freedom to Fascism, may be violent militia extremists, and that police officers should approach these vehicles, if they have a "Don't Tread on Me" sticker, approach with extreme caution. So we took a look at that element, a Fusion Center document, and a Fusion Center is simply a hybrid organization with state, local, federal authorities coming together to share information.
Is it under Department of Homeland Security?
Yeah, it's a hybrid. It's their answer to the information wall that was erected before 9/11. So we're taking this information wall down. We're going to create a big room. We're all going to hang out and we're going to share information. So these documents were put out by the Missouri Information Analysis Center. And it was quite frightening. So we focused on that. So if we can look back in history and see that these Japanese Americans, who simply just because of the way they looked, were considered a threat. Well, what about today?
That's the only reason I want this video. They make it a big deal that these people were targeted for the way that they look, and it's going back into the Japanese internment camps. But we live this every single day, and I don't see thousands of videos from Caucasians, because this is what I want you. Another thing I want you to notice: in this field of the conspiracy theory world, where's the black Alex Jones at? You will not find him.
Dick Gregory.
Right. Yeah, Dick Gregory.
Dick Gregory was the black Alex
Dick
Jones.
Gregory. Yeah. Right, Professor Griff. But you won't find these guys because you know what? They are set up and paid to do this to keep you in fear. Go to the book of Nehemiah. Go to the book of Nehemiah. I'm going to show you. It's the same tactic that's been done for years. Nehemiah chapter 6.
But for the record, though, that brother actually speak truth.
Ah, Lord.
Dick Gregory and Professor Griff, when they talk about the things that were done to Bill Cosby and stuff like that,
For some parts, he brings
some of that
some
stuff be truth. It don't be like on a broad scale like this. Conspiracy theory.
Some stuff he bringing on with.
Start at verse 2.
Nehemiah chapter 6, verse 2.
Read it a little fast for me.
That Sanballat and Geshem sent unto me, saying, Come, let us meet together in some one of the villages in the plain of Ono. But they thought to do me mischief. And I sent messengers unto them, saying, I am doing a great work.
So Nehemiah said he was doing the work. The enemies came amongst them trying to meet with him and talk with him. Read.
I am doing a great work, so that I cannot come down. Why should the work cease whilst I leave it and come down to you?
He's saying, if I stop what I'm doing, now I got to stop doing what I'm doing to go talk to you. Likewise, if you are focused on this stuff, you're not focused on reading the Bible. You're not getting in the hedge. You're not getting in the Most High's secret place. You're spending time wasting your time and energy on things that don't matter. Read.
Yet they sent unto me 4 times after this sort,
Uh-huh.
and I answered them after the same manner.
Read.
Then sent Sanballat his servant unto me in like manner the 5th time with an open letter in his hand,
Read.
wherein was written, It is reported among the heathen, and at Geshmu saith it, that thou and the Jews think to rebel.
Uh-huh.
For which cause thou buildest the wall, that thou mayest be their king, according to these words.
So he made up a lie. He made up a lie. Read.
And thou hast also appointed prophets to preach of thee at Jerusalem, saying, There is a king in Judah, and now shall it be reported to the king according to these words.
Read.
Come now therefore, and let us take counsel together.
Uh-huh.
Then I sent unto him, saying, There are no such things done as thou sayest, but thou fayest them out of thine own heart.
You are making these things up out of your own heart, your own mind. That's what you're seeing with all these videos. They make this stuff up. Some of these videos are pretty bad. They're not well put together. Some of them are better, but most of them they put together and they put the music. That's why it's always a guy with sound and just video going on. Read.
Verse 9.
This is the key part.
For they all made us afraid.
For what?
For they all made us afraid.
For what?
For they all made us afraid.
Uh-huh.
Saying, Their hands shall be weakened from their work.
Read.
That it be not done.
That it be not done. That is what they want us to be. That's the mindset they want us to be in. Afraid. That's what this whole thing is about. They want you to be worried about the government and the conspiracies instead of doing the work of the Most High. Officer hit it right on the head. Fear God, because he can destroy your soul and body. Instead, we worrying about everything else. All right? Pull up the next video. The Illuminati, music in the Illuminati. Oh, no, the GMOs. Let's go to the GMOs real quick.
GMOs. Oh, here we go.
So the next one we're going to hit, all right, we destroyed FEMA camps. I pray y'all got the understanding on FEMA camps. The next one that our people deal with is the GMOs. All right, if you don't know what GMOs, our food today, we're going to read the scripture after we watch the video, but the food we have today is nothing like what we had in the scriptural times. And we understand that. We're going to show you the scripture and give you the understanding on that. But what happens to a lot of our people is we become paranoid and freak out over it. And you get out of your mind. All right, press play.
GMOs, or genetically modified organisms, are found in many of the processed foods we and our families eat every day, like Fruit Loops and other cereals, oven-baked Doritos, and other chips, and these soy infant formulas. What's more, our recent tests here at Consumer Reports found that contrary to what many people believe, even foods with the natural label may contain GMOs. In all, we tested at least 2 samples each of more than 80 processed foods containing corn or soy. So, what are GMOs? GMOs are created by deliberately changing the genetic makeup of a plant or animal in ways that could never occur in nature. The majority of GMO crops on the market have been genetically engineered to produce their own pesticides or to withstand the herbicides farmers use to control weeds. How do I know if GMOs are in my food? The truth is, it's hard to know because manufacturers are not required to tell you. In fact, almost all the products we tested that said nothing about GMOs did contain substantial amounts. We also tested products with different labels.
Hold that. Because I know my brother right here, we always exposing the healthy eating brothers. It said most products that don't say they contain GMOs contain GMOs. Yes, so you can buy the greatest product. It can say all natural, healthy, came straight out of a farm, and guess what? It's GMO.
Still gonna have rhinoceros doodle up in there.
Right.
Still nasty as hell.
All these different things. It's gonna be in there. Keep playing though.
And claims. We have long found claims that are independently certified are the most reliable. In this case, the certified claims we looked at were non-GMO project verified and organic. All of the foods we tested with those labels met our standards of less than 1% GMO corn or soy. There are also unverified non-GMO claims, although less reliable, because they are not independently certified. We found most of the products we tested with those claims met our standards. As for the natural label, virtually all the samples that made only a natural claim had GMOs.
False.
And yet,
False. That's all I wanted right there. Most of the products that say all natural contain GMOs. So just because it says all natural, in your mind, you think it's one thing. But the white man, the red man, I take that back, the red man, he's very, very wise in his verbiage. Go ahead.
Oh, I got a video for you real quick. I've just posted on the Lionz Den. This is not in the queue. It's on the Lionz Den. It's the last video. But timestamp, you can play the video at 2 minutes and 3 seconds in. This was a brother trying to expose what they're trying to do to food going forward. Oh, they're trying to get rid of all the natural foods. You play this. It's 2 minutes and 33 seconds in.
But just to touch bases on that, all natural means it just came from nature. It can be anything.
Yeah.
All kinds of chemicals are all natural because they're found in nature.
Actually, you know what? Go back a little bit. I think he right there.
As part of our agreement, the United States will be able to lock in our market access.
You can't be trusting anything no more. Listen.
For American exports across the range of sectors, including our farming, manufacturing, and service industries. As part of our agreement, the United States will be able to lock in our market access to Canada and Mexico and greatly expand our agricultural exports, something we've been wanting to do for many years. This is an amazing deal for our farmers and also allows them to use cutting-edge biotechnology and eliminates non-scientific barriers.
Eliminates non-scientific.
You can stop it. So he said is using cutting-edge biotechnology. So he said it would give them the ability to produce foods more faster than growing it naturally. Cutting edge is like pretty much cutting straight to it. They're gonna pretty much make food up, and they are able to sell it again as natural. Showing you that there is a conspiracy of GMOs. You hear about Doritos is fake food. You could burn the Cheetos and stuff like that, turn to plastic and all this other stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I myself, I don't eat McDonald's. I don't eat it. I think it's terrible. But it's some people's prerogative. That's what you want to eat, you can eat. But again, I'm gonna show you. We have a big discussion up here, so that's an inside joke about it. But I want to take you to. So I will go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 4, verse 13. It's going to get to the point where all of these foods, there's nothing going to be natural. But what does the Bible say about this? And again, it's a theory, it's a conspiracy theories about them doing it. But what does the Bible say about all of our foods? Can you do something about it? Does God speak about it? Read that.
Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 13. And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel.
Even thus, even the children of Israel. This happened back then. It's going to happen. Is happening today. Read.
Shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles.
It says, even the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles. Read on.
Where the eye will drive them.
Where we was driven, in the nations where we were scattered. We're going to eat defiled food. Only thing is going to change. Only thing that has to change is us understanding that once our Lord shows up, things will go back to normal. But right now, there's nothing pure. You can't escape it. You're in the system that they set up called Babylon the Great. This whole system is a conspiracy theory. The whole system is based off lies. You are already in the FEMA camp. You're already in the concentration camp. Try to leave America without a passport. See how free you are. You already in FEMA.
Yeah, that's heavy. I want to bring out one more scripture on that. 2nd Ezra 16 and 21. This is my favorite scripture. I remember when I first read the scripture, it was dealing with the conspiracy theory stuff. I'll never forget this scripture. I was like, dang, this stuff is real, boy. And then the Bible start overpassing the theories. Because what you'll find out is the Bible has the answer to everything. Everything. And it has the solution. Because it's one thing for you to read all this stuff and see all these videos about Monsanto. Then it's another thing to see, okay, dang, the prophets had to eat their food with dung. So guess what? It's been done already. It's been done. But when you think everybody's one world, one nation, you don't look at this spiritually. Look at that. 2nd Ezra 16:21.
2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 21.
How the Most High feel about that McDonald's?
Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap.
So good cheap. Double cheeseburgers for $1. 2 pieces of meat for $1. Large fry.
We're talking about evils upon the earth.
4 for 4. Read it again from the top.
Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth.
So good cheap upon the earth. Like President Trump just said. We got new ways to create stuff. Read.
That they shall think to themselves to be in good case.
Right. We gonna think we in a good case. That's how we are today. If I didn't have this truth, I would be like, man, this is beautiful, man. I can get whatever I want. $4, I'm good to go. $5, we good to go, man. America ain't that bad, man. I can get a 2 for 2. I can get a 3 for 4. Checkers had a 4 for 3. You get 4 items for $3. Burger King, you can get 10 chicken nuggets for $1. That 10 chicken nuggets for $1?
Yeah, plastic cheap, man. Hey, what can I say?
So you would think you'd be in a good case, read.
And even then
shall
evils grow upon earth.
Read.
Sword, famine, and great confusion.
And that's what we're seeing. Even though we have all this food so cheap right now, you go, what is it, Colombia? That's where they're having the in Colombia right now, they're vacating that nation. Because there's no food there. There's no food there at all. Showing you that, guess what? This is Babylon the Great.
Yeah, absolutely.
While other places are leaving and vacating by the millions, here in America, we throw away 40% of all our food every night.
Yep.
This is Babylon. Make no doubt about it. All right, so we're going to go to the next one. We're going to go to Music and Illuminati, and then we're going to get to the solutions. We're going to get to the real conspiracy.
I forget I got these dollar bills up here.
Hey, let's get to that. Come on, we'll get to that before we go anywhere else.
I got some other. Again, we're showing you the foolishness behind it. So I have a couple bills up here, as the world would call this money, Caesar's money, right?
I want that one
with their faces upon it. I'm gonna show you something. The stuff that I was involved in. I'm gonna show you some of this stuff right here. We'll look at stuff like this, and again, if this was a big deal, and this is something that they wanted to hide from you, and it was a big secret, they would have probably changed it up eventually, or you would have been killed for actually exposing. You got videos, you got a television show, people breaking this down. But anyways, this is some of the stuff that I was into. If you look at the back of the dollar bill, I used to go into how the back of the dollar bill is spelled out Freemasons, and how you have 13 arrows, 13 olive branches, 13 stars. Here's one of the things right here. I'm gonna show you something real quick. I have a $20 bill, a 5, and a 50. Watch this right here.
All right, y'all. Cap is an ex-conspiracy theorist. I heard he was interning for Alex Jones at one point.
Twin Towers.
But he was an Israelite. He was an Israelite, so he didn't move up the ladder fast enough. They don't want blacks to have that information.
Ask, why is he doing this? I'm gonna show you why I'm doing this. I'm gonna show you.
Bring it out.
Because some people really think this stuff is true, and I have to expose it to you because, again, this is what had me. Yeah, this is what had me entrapped in this foolishness.
Look at everybody over here trying to.
I thought this
you got
was
a photo
true.
like this. You got to turn this way. All them brothers
right.
know how to do it.
Oh, listen up, right
yes,
here.
Sir.
Here we go. This is it right here. Hold this.
Elijah Carr. Zoom in.
Hold these right here. Bring it. No, this is the beginning. That's the ending. This is the middle right here. So this is what I was involved in right here. This is a conspiracy plot. Bring it closer. You see this one right here. Can you pan it on this one right here, the 5? Right? Can you see that? We got a lag in the video. I want to make sure y'all see this. So here's a conspiracy theory. This is what they want you focusing on, which really is irrelevant, right? You have supposedly twin towers right here on the $5 bill. You have one tower here, then you have another tower here. Then you have the towers being hit on the $20 bill. One tower here and the other tower here. And then you have on this, the $50 bill, a tower collapsing here and a tower collapsing here. And this is what they'll put. This is what's on the bill, and we'll look at that like, dang, this is some truth.
Hey,
this right here, we got to bring this out.
You forgot one part. Like, you see how you got it folded, right?
Yeah.
That was part of it, too. It's folded. What it look like? It looks like an airplane. The way it's folded.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
You looks like an airplane. You
see how you can just create stuff off of it? I ain't think about that. That's deep. See, we got to bring that out.
That's what they used to do, though,
I know
bro.
they're involved in some evil now because you can make a plane out of that. That's heavy. I ain't catch that.
Say, man.
But, again, you expose all of this stuff. What does that now get you?
Right.
We're still being oppressed.
Yep.
We still don't know who we are.
Yep.
And they can put these things out in our face, and we don't even bite for it. I mean, this stuff
still
is evident. We know, like we was on a flyer mission today. Brothers everywhere know Christ is black.
Right.
Know that everybody in the Bible is black. We the Israelites, they took our heritage. But then we don't look at the true conspiracy. Okay. If they lied about that and said that he was a pale-skinned white person,
right?
What else did they lie about in the Bible? Right. So if all these people were black and we know that these people are Israelites, then we are the Israelites.
Right.
And if we are the Israelites, God said, "I make the world for your sake." So why are you in that position and why am I here? Then that starts to change your mindset also your outlook upon life. You stop listening to the music. You stop selling the drugs. You stop dealing with your sisters like they harlots and prostitutes. You start dealing with some purpose. That's the conspiracy. They want you focused on color instead of looking at the truth about what the Bible is. Color is just one part of it. Yep. Who you are is very important. They get you focused on black. That's the reason why we run to Egyptology. People were black. They had gold. They were kings. And then we focus on that part of the history, but not understanding that we were kings in here too. This history speaks about great kings and how we rule over kingdoms and how we prospered and how we will get back to that point. Egyptology, if you look there, we was once king, but yeah, that was what we once did. We ain't got that no more.
Right.
When you look at the pyramids and all this gold they had, that's what we used to have.
Yep.
But yeah, boy, you ain't got it now though. I'm just saying this is how great we were.
Right.
And but no, I'm saying we're great now. Look, the Bible says we're great. Yep. He's going to destroy America for your sake. That's what he said in the Bible.
Yep. Absolutely.
Hey,
that's
Cat,
to come.
Which one of them dollars got the owl on it?
Oh, it's a dollar bill. Hey, you can't tell me nothing about this dollar. Let me tell you. I knew all of that. You flip to the front, you look on the left-hand side, right, on the dollar bill, you'll see a little, you ain't going to be able to see it. It's a little print. And if you look closely at the dollar bill, you see it in other places on the dollar. But if you would have thought that was an eagle. And that eagle referenced Baphomet, not Baphomet, the Bohemian Grove. It's the eagle that they worship in the forest. So, yeah.
Hey,
again,
pull up that picture I just posted on the radios.
Look at all that and be like, all right, now give me that 50 so I can get in the club right now and buy me some drinks. Because it was nothing. It didn't mean nothing. What was it really going to do?
Jack.
The same way we was able to see the Twin Towers on the 5, the 50, and the 20. Check this out. Pull up that picture on how the Washington Capitol is set up. One second. Bear with us.
If we have to, we put it on this tablet. We show y'all there. See, Illuminati don't shut the computer down. This is a conspiracy.
See?
They don't tap into the computer.
That stuff, see, they didn't shut y'all down.
They don't tap into the computer.
But what we showing y'all is that none of this is done by accident. It's done by design. This is part of the crafty councils and the conspiracy theorists, which is organized by white supremacy, Caucasian people. All right.
Ever since you said the plane, the paper represents the plane, dang on audio and stuff don't work right.
I brought it
I
out.
think you brought it out just then. I didn't even catch that part.
Well, the secret plots.
You are Mason.
Slave name Mason. That's the only Mason I'm in.
What we looking for, Officer
If
Ellen?
y'all can't get it, don't worry about it. Just continue on.
Okay.
All right, last one, and then we're gonna get to the real conspiracy. Let's go into the music.
Do we got? Okay, here we go. Here we go. We back. We back.
You can turn back now
So witchcraft, right?
or learn the stuff they don't want you to know. Here are the facts. It's no secret that music has a profound impact on society and culture. From instruments of San Bushmen in Botswana to the sample-laden beats of dubstep, music permeates the globe. And while not everyone enjoys the same types of music, scientists have found that music does have measurable effects on the human mind. For example, in 2009, psychologists from Stanford University found that the act of singing together makes individuals feel emotionally closer. Listening to music can also significantly alter a person's mood. While the psychology behind music is fascinating, some people believe that we have only begun to understand the forces at work in your favorite childhood songs and today's top 40 hits. According to conspiracy theorists, your favorite musicians might just be part of the New World Order. Here's where it gets crazy. There's a thriving group of conspiracy theorists who believe that some of the world's most popular musicians, from Lady Gaga to Toby Keith and Jay-Z, are involved with the Illuminati. Additionally, according to conspiracy websites such as The Vigilant Citizen, these artists are displaying their dark allegiances through the use of arcane symbols in their videos and lyrics. The symbols used should be familiar to most conspiracy theorists, the famous eye and pyramid, for example, or images alluding to devil worship. This isn't the first time that members of the public have accused musicians of diabolical acts. During the 1980s, concerned parents across the United States became convinced that some musicians were subliminally converting their children into Satan worshippers. This was allegedly accomplished through backwards masking or hiding audio in a track that can be discerned when played in reverse. Many of these artists made what we today would call classic rock, such as Queen or Led Zeppelin.
All right, so you keep going and saying the same thing. But what I wanted to touch was at the beginning, towards the beginning, it went into that music had a spirit. It put spirits on people. But guess what? The Bible already told us that. Go to the book of 1 Samuel chapter 16. And let's start at verse 13. Because this is what we're showing you is that all this stuff it's crazy and it's this stuff the Bible talks about it.
Yeah.
GMOs, okay. The food said we're gonna be defiled. FEMA camps, no, not gonna happen. It says it's gonna be as in the days of Noah. We can go through all these. It's just it's fear tactics. Read that.
13 or 14.
1 Samuel 16:13. We're gonna read down.
1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 13. Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward.
Read.
So Samuel rose up and went to Ramah.
So David was in the Spirit. Read.
But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul.
But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul. Read.
And an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him.
Jump down to verse 16.
Verse 16. Let our Lord now command thy servants, which are before thee, to seek out a man who is a cunning player on a harp. And it shall come to pass, when the evil spirit from God is upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well.
Wow. So you can, with the use of music, biblically, not YouTube conspiracy theoretically, you can change your spirit. Now, go to 1 Corinthians 15 and 33. There was another example on there where they said that their kids were being tricked into worshiping the devil. Listen, you control what your kids listen to. This is how you know this talking about so-called white man. You control what they listen to. They don't have a control. They in your household. You rule your household well. Abraham said, Genesis 18 says, I know Abraham, that he will command his household. You do that. All right, read that. 1
Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33.
This is for you, brothers and sisters, that may not know. Music does have a spirit, and it will do something to you if you continue to meditate on it. So if you want to keep listening to Kurt Sprinkle, all right, you might be an effeminate. If you want to listen to trap music, your head gonna be messed up. If you want to listen to drop a brick up, you might turn into a drug dealer. All these music has a spirit on you. That's why when you go to the club, every song is about what? Yeah. A certain way a woman's dancing provocatively, right? And that's all they play, every song. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. The whole night. That's right. What's going on. It has a spirit. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communication corrupt good manners.
What happens?
Evil communication corrupt good manners.
Evil communications will corrupt good manners. All right? So make sure you understand that. All right. So now we're going to get into the real conspiracy. Cap, you want to lead the charge on that part?
Psalms 83. We already know. Psalms 83.
Now we dealt with the fake conspiracies, and there's millions of them. And guess what? We ain't dealing with all of them. We ain't dealing with them. Why? Because they are pointless, and the scripture says to shun vain and profane babbling. Yeah, that's what that stuff is.
I had a whole bunch of other stuff, but it's like it means nothing. Right. Let's go to Psalms 83. Now it's time to get the real conspiracy theory. Let's get the real conspiracy.
Psalms chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God.
So in the spirit, this is a psalm of Asaph. In the spirit, he was seeing that there was an atrocity done in the earth. And he was telling the Lord not to hold his peace on this, not to be still on it, but to act upon it, just like when the Lord saw us in Egypt. He acted on it. He said, I heard and I seen the affliction of my people in Egypt. I am come down to save them. So Asaph said in the spirit, Lord, do the same thing that you done in Egypt. Do something about it and be not still when it concerns your people. Because what? Read verse 2.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Because your enemies, everybody that is against you, they make a tumult. A tumult is a uprising. It is a band together to cause harm to another group of people. It's a plot, an evil plot. It says, thine enemies make a tumult. Read on.
And they that hate thee.
And they that hate you.
Have lifted up the head.
And talking about in pride. Saying there's none other but we. And we're going to consume all the tribes of Jacob. And there's no God but us. This is the prayer we read about often in the book of Ecclesiastes. They want to take control over God's people. Saying they are the only ones in charge, and they're portraying themselves to be gods. Then they can control the world. It says they have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Read on.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They lift up their head. That's the point I was addressing. Read verse 3 again.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Get that real quick in the book of Psalms. I think it's Psalms 40. 64, yeah. Yes.
So what we're reading, crafty counsel. What is that? A conspiracy theory. That's what the crafty counsel is. But guess what? It's real. Our conspiracy is real. It's factual. It's not just videos that somebody made up. You can see it every single day. Turn on the news.
Absolutely.
Look outside your window.
Read verse 1.
Psalm chapter 64, verse 1. Hear my voice, O God, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked.
It says, hear my voice, O God, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked.
From the insurrection of the workers of iniquity.
Or from the tumult of the workers of iniquity. That word translated. Read on.
Who whet their tongue like a sword.
Who sharpen or whet their tongues like a sword. Their tongue being their mouth. Their propaganda, everything they use to defile our minds, to to get us to go against God, telling us that Christ was born on December 25th, which is tomorrow, which we're going to celebrate that. Some of us going to celebrate that evil. That's they swore against you. That's the conspiracy theory. They're getting you to celebrate a day which you deem as the celebration of Christ. Churches got signs on their door talking about happy birthday, Jesus. That's the conspiracy theories. It says, who wet their tongue like the sword, read.
And bend their bows to shoot their arrows.
And they bend their bows to shoot their arrows. Read on.
Even bitter words.
What is their sword?
Even bitter words.
Their propaganda. Again, this is all bitter sword. These are all bitter words that they showing us. The stuff about the conspiracy theories. This stuff means nothing. It's money to use to purchase stuff. And they showing you messages on it, getting you thrown off what is the truth about the God, the God that we serve. The truth in the earth, read.
That they may shoot in secret at the perfect.
And their job is to shoot at the secret and it says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Read on. You know
Suddenly,
one way they shoot at the perfect in secret? We talked about this a while back. I think we discussed it on one of our radio shows. And we brought out what they were doing. No, we brought it in class. What they're doing in Chicago. How they put the bait truck in the community. And they also drop guns off in alleys. And brothers picking them up. And they wondering why they got all of these big guns. I'm talking about stuff that, brothers don't even, some brothers can't even purchase guns. But they got all these AK-47s, M15, all types of guns. They said they shoot at the secret. They shoot at the perfect in secret. You want to say something?
Nah, just another way how they shoot in secret, like on Halloween, they'll call it Career Day.
Yeah, that's another way.
In elementary
schools. Yep. They call it Career Day in schools.
Hey, one is conspiracy theories that is just the white man. And it's not just the white man. It's all them nations
Absolutely.
that conspiring against us.
Absolutely.
Arabs, Japanese, Chinese, Hawaiians, Koreans, Africans. People just think it's the white man. It ain't just the white man. They all together. When you read them scriptures, the they and the Psalms 83 and what you're reading right now is talking about all these nations.
Mm-hmm. Okay, read on.
Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not.
It says, suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Read.
They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep.
So it says, and they encourage themselves in an evil matter, and they commune of laying snares privily, and they say, who shall see them? Here's a snare that they lay. You notice, like when you're dealing with, especially when the Clintons were in the office, and they had the 3-strike rule. And you notice that the things that brothers was getting locked up for, even now, just talking about the drug charges. You can get more life selling dope than cocaine. Cocaine is the raw form. You gotta cook the dope. You gotta cook the stuff together to get dope. But who's the one selling? The white men, they don't sell dope. They sell cocaine. So who's getting more time for even selling drugs? Period. Both is the same. It's the same high. It's the same destruction to your body. But you'll get locked up and get more time for selling dope than selling cocaine. Both of them is evil. But I'm showing you there's a plot against our people. And then when you get out of jail and you want to do right, you can't even get a job because now you got a felony and people think that they can't trust you. And you have to put on your application, do you have a felony? And if so, what are the charges? And most of the time you won't even get a call back because you signed off you have a felony. So what does that now lead you to do? Go back to where you feel comfortable. Okay, well, I can't go to the job, so I got to go back to what I'm used to. I got to go back to whatever I made ends meet, which is selling drugs on the street. That is a conspiracy within itself. So let's go back to Psalms 83.
Psalms chapter 83, verse.
Yeah, you left off at verse 3. Read 3 again.
Verse 3.
Yep.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. That's crafty counsel. Read.
And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation.
And their agenda was to say what?
Come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
And one of the plots that we brought out earlier was that first video you showed. They come up with the conspiracy theories about what the government is doing so we can all link together and say this is happening to every last one of us. chemtrail is falling on white people, black people, and Chinese people. We got to band together against the government. We all eat GMO foods. But then when you look at it, that ain't the real conspiracy. They are trying to kill the Israelite man. They ain't worrying about any other nation. Because when you look at it, if the Chinese were affected by GMOs and chemtrails, they can go back to China. The African can go back over there to Africa. The Israelite man, this is the home of the bulk of us are right here in oppression. This is where we are locked down at.
This is what we're nurtured.
This is what we're nurtured. This is our prison house right here. We can't go nowhere like these other nations. We don't have a government like they do. We don't have the same military power as they do. We are destroyed. We have nobody that represent us. And when you look at who does represent us, you got T.I. that talking about he speaks for the people. Then you got basketball, all kind of rap artists that come up to my, yeah, I speak for the people. I'm their voice. And they talking about all kinds of filth and garbage in their music. That's the conspiracy theories. They put these brothers in that position to destroy the minds of the people. Because again, music is communication. We just read that out of the Bible. Read verse 4 again.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That's the purpose for doing all of these things against us. That we would no more remember who we are, being the children of Israel. Read on.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
This is what the officer was bringing out. It's not just Esau the white man. It's all the nations that have done this. They have consulted together with one consent. And they are what?
They are confederate against him.
And who are these people?
The tabernacles of Edom.
That's the so-called Caucasian or European man today. Read.
And the Ishmaelites.
That's what you read. That's the what you want to call them, the East Indian, not East Indian, excuse me, the Pakistanians. Okay, the Afghanistans. These are the people, the Palestinians. Read on.
Of Moab.
These are the Chinese. Read on.
And the Hagarenes.
These are Africans. Read.
Gebal.
Africans.
And Ammon.
This is Japanese. Read. Excuse me. Japanese.
And Amalek.
This are the so-called Jewish people. Read on.
The Philistines.
And more of the Pakistanis, those of that family. Read on.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
More Africans. These are the nations that are involved in this plot. So it's not just Esau, the white man. All of these nations have a confederacy against you. You're not safe nowhere. Our only solution to hope is to turn back to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's it. Go ahead, officer.
All right, so I want to show you something. I'm going to show you one of the secret councils that they have against us. All right, now keep in mind, is Alex Jones still alive? Alex Jones still alive,
man. He rich
still
too,
alive.
and he rich.
Now I'm gonna show you a movie. This was a major movie of somebody that exposed their secret council, and what happened to him? He ended up the river, dead. So this will let you know when you're dealing with real conspiracies, you're gonna end up dead. That's simple. That it's by the Spirit of the Lord. That the brothers that are doing the truth, that are pushing the truth, that have the knowledge and understanding, haven't been touched. And we pray the Most High continue to give us mercy. But we understand it's going to come a time where it says you have not resisted unto blood. It's going to come a time when brothers are going to be put to death because the information and what we are teaching is pivotal to the downfall of this nation. Likewise, this Edomite, the Most High put the Spirit on him to expose what was going on. Press play.
Gary Webb, San Jose Mercury News.
You believe in conspiracy theories, Gary?
No, I don't believe in conspiracy theories. Conspiracies, yes. If I believe it, there's nothing theory about it.
Was the government aware that you were smart?
Hey, I like what he said. He said, I don't believe in conspiracy theories. I do believe in conspiracies. Because guess what? The Bible said there's a conspiracy. They conspired together. They consulted together. What we're talking about now, this half of the show, these ain't theories.
Yeah, these ain't theories.
These ain't theories. Theories can go one of two ways. They can be proven false or true. These are not theories. This is truth.
Yeah, these things are happening.
All right, press play.
Tons of cocaine into the United States.
Yes, the government knew.
This leads to very sensitive national security matters. National security and crack cocaine, the same sentence. Does that not sound strange to you?
I'm going to tell you the whole truth.
I'm going to introduce you to people you should talk to. And then you will be faced with the most important decision of your life.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Deciding whether to share it or not.
Pause. Pause. He said, I'm going to give you the most important decision of your life. I'm going to tell you the truth. But it's up to you whether you're going to share it or not. Anybody, I've been talking, we don't put up 1 million videos on FEMA camps. That ain't the truth. Nobody's getting put to death over that at all.
A television show.
A TV show. So why y'all worried about it? You brothers and sisters out there flaking out over FEMA camps, stop it. Stop it. It's a fear tactic. Press play.
One of the DEA's most wanted brought in thousands of kilos of cocaine to the U.S. every day. For them.
For who?
The U.S. government. Or with them. Or at least while they were looking the other way. Jesus.
L.A., New York, Atlanta. I couldn't sell it fast enough to keep up with supply.
Oh, that's Rick Ross. He said L.A., Chicago, all these different places. He said I was selling it so fast, they couldn't even get it to me fast enough. But where was he doing it at? Amongst his people. Who did they use? A black face to move the drugs in our neighborhoods. This is documented fact. They didn't do it in Hollywood. They didn't do it in Bel Air. They put it in the ghettos and slums across America. This is real. This dude died. He died for bringing this story out. Keep pressing play.
Fancy information you have there. Dangerous.
What you found here, Gary, is a monster.
You have no idea what you're getting into. You really tell me that I should just walk away from this? You'd be an idiot not to.
This story scares people.
I'm your big brother.
Well, it should.
Be careful.
There are ongoing operations you're in danger of exposing. We know you were in Nicaragua.
Am I being followed?
They found a solution. Where you be for the revolution?
I thought my job was to tell the public the truth, the facts, pretty or not. And let the publishing of those facts make a difference in how people look at things, at themselves, and what they stand for.
We'd never threaten your children, Mr. Webb.
What'd you say?
It's over.
I'm not finished with it! I'm not finished! This is a true story. Some stories are just too true to tell.
All right, so I think the dude's name was Jeremy Webb. You can look up it later. But he exposed that they were bringing, the CIA paid them to bring money into America, and they paid Rick Ross to sell it. That's why when people say, how did the crack epidemic happen? Like, where the hell do we get pure cocaine from in the hood where there's, in Chicago and New York, there's no land. There's no land. Don't you need the seeds and the trees? Where are they getting the land to grow pure 100% cocaine and sell it to our people? How did Frank Lucas get black magic to distribute in Harlem?
He went to Moab. We seen that in the movie.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
Bought that thing
There's
over
a
here.
conspiracy against our people. Y'all got to wake up. You got to wake up. This is the real stuff.
Yep.
People are dying over this, but you worrying about FEMA camps that never affected anybody. Give me 1 Ezra chapter 5 and verse 72. 1 Ezra chapter 5 and verse 72. And like I said, I know this is a stronghold. I used to watch the FEMA camp stuff all the time. I had a bag that I had just in case something was to pop off. I could grab my bag and get out of here. I had a plot, man. But read that, man.
First Ezra.
Day 2, you was done.
Yeah.
A bug out bag.
Right.
Day 2, he was going to be dead. He had a 1 day
I
bag.
had a whole ploy, man. Had a boat. I was ready. It's going to live in the ocean.
First Ezra chapter 5, verse 72. But the heathen of the land lying heavy upon the inhabitants of Judah, and holding them straight, hindered their building.
That's what this is about. As long as our people are watching these videos and not focusing on the commandments, they are hindering us from being delivered out of this land. Because the Most High is waiting for 1/3 of our people to be sealed. 144,000 of our men to be sealed. The more time you waste occupying your time and efforts watching nonsensical videos is less time for you to learn the commandments. You're hindering us. Read.
And by their secret plots.
And by their what?
Secret plots.
And by their what?
Secret
If
plots.
you want conspiracy theories, there's no bigger one than the fact that they are hiding the true identity from the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American man. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
And the Bible outlines it. He says by their secret plots. Read.
And popular persuasions.
And popular persuasions. FEMA camps. GMOs. Illuminati. New World Order. These are popular commotions. Everybody knows about this stuff, but nobody has a solution for it. Read.
Popular persuasions and commotions.
Uh-huh.
They hindered the finishing of the building.
They hindered the finishing of the building.
Yep.
That is what they are doing to us today. Because when we go out and teach our people, they have all this nonsense built up in their head, and what do? They reject the truth. They reject it. All right?
I want to make a point. Brother Chris Israel just put up a great point. That's going back to what we just read in Revelations 12. He said it's all part of the flood. Absolutely right. Everything that the officers bringing out about this conspiracy, it's a flood. That's all it is. To get you carried away with every wind of doctrine. Get you focused on one point while they're shooting at you from the backside. You focus on everything going on here. It's genius the way they set it up. Anyway, you got to get them
Revelation
credit.
12 and 15.
12, you got to get them credit.
You got it? Revelation 12 and 15. Pay attention, brother.
But again, our slogan is to expose evil.
Caught up in the
Revelation
videos.
12:16.
Revelation chapter 12,
15.
verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth
That
water.
same serpent, when you read verse 9, the great dragon was cast out, the old serpent, the devil, Satan, which deceiveth the whole world, and he was cast into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Verse 15.
Verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
Can we get the precept to that real quick? What is the flood represent? Yep, Hebrews 13. And 9, read that.
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 9. Be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines.
It says, be not carried about with what? Diverse what?
And strange doctrines.
Strange doctrine. All this stuff is strange doctrine. It says, be not carried about with strange doctrine. Let's go back to Revelations.
Revelations chapter 12, verse 16. No,
Yep.
verse 15.
Yep.
And the serpent cast out of his mouth
Remember
water.
what the serpent does. Deceiveth. Read.
Cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman.
After the woman. Who was the woman? The nation of Israel.
That he might cause her to be carried away
With
of
what?
the flood.
Strange doctrine? And what it says, strange doctrine and what? Well, back in Hebrews, what did it say? I'm not looking at it. I know it says strange doctrine. Diverse and strange doctrine. Every wind of philosophy. Let's go back. That he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. Verse 16.
Verse
This
16.
is what's important.
Verse 16. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood with the dragon, which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
So what is the defense against all of these conspiracy theories, all of these lies, all of these plots against us? What is the defense? It says the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened up her mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. What is the earth that helped the woman? Psalms 85, verse 11. Psalms 85, verse 11, read that.
The book of Psalms, chapter 85, verse 11.
Yep.
Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven.
The Most High said, truth shall spring out of the earth. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness look down from heaven. What is going to be the defense against all of these lies and these conspiracy theories? We got to stick hold to the truth. Remember, we read that earlier, back in Psalms 91, I believe it was. It says, his truth shall be your shield and buckler. That's the thing that stood up against the flood that came out of the serpent's mouth. All of this stuff that they're talking about is irrelevant. It's not going to make or break us at the end of the day, because the Most High, his kingdom is coming. There's nothing that man can do against it. That's it. Nothing that man can do against it. You got something else?
Can we put that definition back up of conspiracy? Can you read that?
Conspiracy, a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful.
To do something unlawful or harmful. That's the part that I want to deal with, because just because we know we Israel, we got a lot of Israelites that want to do harm to the truth. I want to show you that's biblical also. Can we get Acts chapter 23, verse 12? Because from us teaching on the streets and some coming up pushing a doctrine, like, for instance, the name doctrine. And then when you say, okay, brother, I'll say the name. Now what?
Simple. Go ahead, officer.
Because, hey, we didn't get bought over here because of a name. We got bought over here because of sin. Where your fringes, brother? Oh, well, see, it don't matter because I know the name, right? Read that.
Acts chapter 23, verse 12. And when it was day, certain of the Jews banded together and bound themselves under a curse.
So this was Israelites bounding themselves to a curse. Let's see what happened.
Saying that they would neither eat nor drink till they had killed Paul.
You know how strong that curse is? I ain't eating or drinking nothing till I kill that, and you know what?
That's how much they hated the truth.
That's the hatred.
That's the hatred.
Right.
Read on.
And they were more than 40 which had made this conspiracy.
Made this what?
Conspiracy.
Let's read that definition again.
Definition of conspiracy, a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful.
So we have that within Israel.
Yeah.
Knowing that we Israel, and we still have those that will conspire to do harm to others instead of gathering ourselves together as the Bible tells us to do. That's all I have.
But the truth still stands. All Paul said, hey, this is the reason why these people are after me. Because I speak about the promise to the 12 tribes of Israel. That's it. You speak the truth. Hey, the wicked flee when no man pursue you. All you got to do is speak the truth. Stick with the words the Bible speak. They're going to flee. Like you said, the perfect example, dealing with the name. You're like, okay. Because if you go outside the Bible, see, no, technically, if you look at it, the H is Yah, is Wah. No, you deal with all that stuff, it's always going to lead to some foolishness. That's outside of the Bible.
Right.
But if you stick with the Bible, okay, let's deal with Yahweh. You understand that name? Cool, let's deal with it. Yahweh said wear fringes. Where your fringes at?
Right.
Yahweh said keep Passover. What, you keep Passover?
Right.
Christ is Passover. No, Yeshua is Passover. Okay, well, did you keep it? Now we don't got to keep. Well, why did the disciples keep it here? Why did Paul keep? No, we got to be in Jerusalem. Paul went in Jerusalem. Use the words of the Bible. Let the Bible speak. We don't have to go outside of the Bible to defend nothing. Leave that stuff, that name doctrine and all this other stuff. It'll come to naught because it's not of God. God said, if it ain't the truth, it will fall. But if it be of God, you can't fight against it. Don't have to fit it.
Absolutely.
Got something else?
Nope. I just wanted to read this real quick. This is Jeremy Webb. This is the dude that we just read about in the Kill the Messenger. It said Webb on Wikipedia. That's his real name. Gary Webb, I'm sorry. Webb was found dead in his Carmichael home on December the 10th, 2004, with 2 gunshots to the head. His death was ruled a suicide by Sacramento coroner's office.
They able to shoot himself
right.
2 times.
2 times in the
suicide?
head. You see that?
Hey, probably in the back of the head too.
So, but I'm just showing you. Somehow he ended up dead 2 times. Who shoots themselves twice? Hey, the fact that you hit it on the head, you ain't even did no police work. Dog, how you get 2 gunshots to the head and it's a suicide? Sheesh. All praises. Hey, but so in closing, we know our time is running short. We just want to let you know that according to the Bible, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the children of Israel. I know. You are the children of Israel. And these doctrines and philosophies are not your way out. Do not make this your home of understanding. Don't make this all you are built upon. There's a scripture, get built upon a rock, a house built upon a rock, and a house built upon sand. These things are not the foundation of you. You cannot build a family. You cannot build a community. You cannot become a better husband. You cannot become a better wife. You can't become a better son, so on and so forth, by building your whole life on these things. All right? So we're going to read. We're going to read. Because a lot of people, their whole basis is built off of these things, these theories. And that's all they have to hold on to. And when a certain thing don't happen on a certain date, then what?
Hey, take my word for it. I was there, and it didn't help me.
Right.
Almost, like I said, it almost overthrew me. If you got somebody dealing with conspiracy theories, build yourself up in the faith so you can be able to show them the words of God. Save them from that madness. Because, boy, it ain't going to lead you nowhere but down a path of confusion. That's it. You can read what you got.
24, 7 and 24.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them.
Whoever keeps the commandments, ladies and gentlemen, that's what this whole thing is about. That's what the big conspiracy about. When you go to the book of Judas chapter 5 and verse 20, he outlines it very simple. He said, if there be any sin in this people, if there be any error in this people, then we can come up against them and overcome them. But if there be no sin, let us pass by, lest their Lord defend them. That's what this whole thing is about. You keeping the commandments or not. That is why these conspiracy theories are dangerous. Because why? Their focus is not upon you applying God's law, statutes, and commandments in the faith of Christ. If you truly want to be delivered, you got to keep the commandments. It's that simple. Keep reading.
Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man.
A wise man. Read.
Which built his house upon a rock.
Right. That rock is Christ, according to 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 4. You got to build your house upon Christ. Read.
And the rain descended, and the flood came.
Uh-huh.
And the winds blew
and
beat upon that house.
Read.
And it fell not.
Read.
For it was founded upon a rock.
Right. Different trials and tribulations are going to come. Let's say you heavy in conspiracy theories. And God forbid, your wife step out on you. Now you dealing with a divorce in your house. You telling me these conspiracy theories going to help you get through that situation? No. You meditating on what's going on amongst the government is going to help you get over that? Your mom dies. Let me go watch some videos. This is going to help me get over this. You don't get the job that you've been working your whole life for. You don't get the opportunity. So on and so forth. All these different trials and tribulations are going to come. But if you are not founded in the Bible, because all this stuff, it has no end and it has no solutions. It's one-sided. It's a selfish relationship when you in this stuff. Read.
Verse 26. And every one that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man.
Read.
Which built his house upon the sand.
Read.
And the rain descended, and the floods came,
Read.
And the winds blew and beat upon that house.
Read.
And it fell, and great was the fall of it.
Right. Great was the fall of it. Because when you follow this stuff, you're going to be so built up on it. Yeah, Obama's the Antichrist. Obama's the Antichrist. Then 8 years go by, and nothing's happened. Hey, bro, I thought you said Obama was going to bring in the NWO. Go ahead.
I thought when Obama was elected, our credit score was going to go up. We wasn't going to never get arrested no more.
Obama phone.
Right. All these different things, you're going to become a laughing stock. That's what's going to happen when you put your trust in anything but this Bible. You're going to become the laughing stock of your town, of your city, wherever you're at. You got to build it upon the words of Christ.
So that third eye ain't going to help you, huh? Okay.
All right. So once again, we are Israel United in Christ. You can visit us at israelunite.org. We have over 70 locations throughout the United States and throughout the world. Go to the contact us page. We have a school here in Orlando, Florida, actually. If you are in the Orlando, Florida area at 5380 Silver Star Road, you can visit us. We have a phone number, 855-484 4842 extension 707. So contact us, find us. If you watch and you've been wavering, go visit a school. Stop watching, Go learn for yourself. Get into the schools and learn. Two different things from watching online and being there in person.
Because if you're not, you're part of that conspiracy theory. You're fearing to join the truth. You're observing it, say, I can't be a part of it. I don't know. Yeah, they got us thinking that way. They got us looking at the truth like it's a scary thing, and it's if you do it, you're moving into a cult. No, that's the conspiracy theories. They want to get you thinking that the truth is a cult. It's always that way. It's always set up that way. You'll look at the truth as the demon, and you'll look at the truth. Remember, the scripture says, Christ says this. It says Paul says this. It says the angel, the demon, Satan has disguised himself as an angel of light. The truth is always going to be demonized. If you look at what the majority of this world follows, they're okay with conspiracy theories, but what are they ostracized? What are they scared to follow? The truth of God. You can go to a bunch of brothers that's smoking weed and can bring out a dollar bill and talk to them about the GMOs, and they'll sit there and smoke with you all day saying it's a plot, but nobody changes. The relationships is still the same, broken houses, single parent houses, poor education, poor health care. You know, the problems still remain in the community, but yet, all you still talking about all these things, but nothing has changed. This is what matters, the truth of God, and that's in the Bible. So don't fear it. Man told you to fear it.
All praises. Hey, with that we say shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcast, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.